I just want to tell you guys a few of the keystones that I tell almost every client that sits in my chair. Usually we go over a few key points about wearing locks and what it's like to wear locks, a few of the things that change during this time frame. So if you don't know, my name is Shane Fell, and this is where we talk about hair. I've been studying hair since 2006, and I first started wearing locks on my head and studying locks back in '99. So you can imagine I might have a little info for you. One of them is that you don't really get to hide in the shadows anymore, and you can go to the grocery store, you can go anywhere you want, you're gonna get noticed. Not only are you gonna get noticed, so if you're an introvert, you're gonna also start conversations constantly. You have a conversation starter on your head, and this conversation starter is constantly there. It's generally not a horrible conversation. It's usually a really positive, beautiful conversation. Don't let social media fool you with crazy, mean people. Generally speaking, it's like you stick out when you walk around, and so the introversion part is really, it gets touched a lot more. The other part of that is, much like I hear a woman who's pregnant gets touched in the belly constantly without consent, same kind of thing happens in the store. People are walking up to you like, hey, can I touch your locks? And they're already grabbing them. So there's that, and that kind of happens often. How do you wash it? Do you wash it is usually what the question is, not how do you wash it. Do you wash them, or are they clean? And I think it's because people don't know how to word it correctly, and I think people more want to know is how do you wash it? Does it wash differently is what they want to know. And so there is like this connotation that you want to be like, no, of course I wash my hair. Truth is, I think people just don't know how to word stuff, as well as they're put off by locks. One of the things that I've noticed and I think about often is, if we understand that certain berries are poisonous passed down through DNA, then locks have been on all four corners of the world in history and written about, and so those locks, locks in all of those writings generally have root to either spiritual highness or like warrior highness, or like in some type of royalty wearing locks, right? And so this kind of reaction, or a reaction in general, is almost expected. Understand that kind of stuff too. You're going to get a reaction. Some of the other things that happen wearing locks is that locks also give us a different sense of power. We go through this ego death that's not unlike a 15-year-old girl shaving her head or something like that, where lots of things change and we understand that our own personal power is within us, not outside of us. It's like one of these weird things that we gain. There's a whole lot more to that, and I don't want to get way into it, but I definitely get to watch somebody walk in without locks to a year later of wearing locks to 3 years in of wearing locks. The difference in the human being, confidence in their own power, the confidence in their own self, what their direction is, all those kinds of things. I don't know that it comes from locks. I'm not saying it does. I just get to watch a lot of people grow into themselves, I guess. And that's a pretty fucking cool thing and a cool part about my job. I would continue to do this no matter what price point I had in my bank account, offering it because of the simple fact of how much I watch people grow. I would still offer this far into like the withered hands and unable to do it point in my life, simply because of the connection that I have with people. I get to witness inside of other people that growth. I don't know, I'm not saying you're gonna get it. I'm also not saying you won't fall in love with yourself a little bit more. Regardless, you'll definitely understand yourself more, even if you don't keep them for very long. Bet you'll get a lot of answers. Anyways, guys, happy locking.